this LinkedIn Live AMA. I'm Drew, Head of Business Change and Design and founder at the BAproject.ie. Today, I'll be answering your questions about careers in business analysis, consulting, change management, and a little bit about me, whether you're starting out, looking to grow, or just curious about the future of the BA role. I think this session's for you. So let's dive straight in. I've got some questions from my own LinkedIn account, from the BA Project LinkedIn account, excuse me, and also from our website. So first up, question one, how do I go about landing a job at a company like mine when you are a non-EU national? Okay, that is, I think, a great question and probably applicable to a ton of people. I think the key is understanding the visa and sponsorship landscape. I think many companies in Ireland do hire non-EU nationals, but they typically look for niche skills or experience that's hard to find locally. So my advice from my experience as a hiring manager is target companies with critical skills, visa sponsorship, and you're going to find them in tech consulting, in financial services. They'd often qualify. Also, build a strong LinkedIn presence, showcasing your experience and your adaptability. And I can't overestimate the importance in your network. I want you to network, but make sure that you network strategically. Join BA and tech communities, attend webinars, and connect with recruiters who specialize in international hires. Something that would be really beneficial if you're looking at a BA role is join the IABA. And once you get your membership, you can attend any of their global chapter events where you can meet endless amounts of communities and potential hiring managers. And then just persistence and positioning, that's everything. If you can demonstrate the value you bring, companies will work with you then with the visa process. That's a good question. The next one that we got in was, let me see. What are the most important skills for someone looking to get their first business analyst role? Okay, so for entry-level BAs, I would definitely focus on communications, stakeholder management, being able to listen, clarify, and influence. That'll show you the right person for the job, and it'll also help you gain the confidence of your client fast once you actually land that job. A second thing then is analytical thinking, breaking down problems and spotting patterns, especially patterns in messy data, disjointed information. And then your documentation, your modeling, learn how to create clear requirements, process maps, visualizations, and user stories. And user stories are going to be the fundamental output for almost all of your tech projects. And I think finally then your tooling, your tool set. So familiarity with Excel, Visio, Miro, Figma, they'd be the major ones in my practice. But even the basics in SQL and Power BI, that can set you apart, and make sure that you don't underestimate curiosity. Asking the right questions is often more valuable than knowing all the answers, and you're never going to know all the answers. I think there's nothing a customer hates more than being asked the same question multiple times. It shows that we're either not listening as consultants or we're not talking to each other as an internal delivery team. So make sure that you, your PM, your architect, your tech lead, your account manager, whoever it might be, that you're aligned. Okay, next up, question 3. How can you take the next step in your career as a consultant and move into a leadership role but retain your delivery skills? Okay, I've got some experience with that. I think it's a balancing act. Leadership can sometimes, but not always, mean stepping back from hands-on delivery. But you can definitely keep your edge if you do a few things. Being able to mentor associates, you'll stay close to delivery challenges this way, and taking ownership of complex projects, which means that you can lead, but also you get to roll up your sleeves when you're needed, perhaps even in an advisory capacity. Continuous learning, keeping up with tools and frameworks so you can guide your teams more effectively. I want you to think of this as moving from doing to enabling, and then this way you can start serving projects in a different way through governance control and through escalation pathways. Okay, next up. Have you ever worked anywhere else than in Dublin? That's an interesting question. I have. I'm trying to think of the places where I have worked outside of Dublin. Where have I worked that's relevant to this? Or maybe everywhere's relevant. So for me, a little bit in the north of Ireland, sometime in Spain with my family, even in Asia. And I think each of those experiences taught me different things about culture, definitely about adaptability. And honestly, I don't think I'm done. I'm sure we will end up somewhere else at some stage. I think change is a part of the journey, and I'm trying to teach myself to be better with change. Next up, what do you believe are the biggest obstacles to success in any change project? I think there are three big ones. Number one is resistance to change. So people definitely fear uncertainty. Then you have poor communication, and this is generally the root cause to the majority of business problems. And it's the same for adoption. If stakeholders don't understand the why, then adoption suffers. Finally, the lack of clear ownership. Without accountability, projects tend to drift, and it's difficult to have accountability per resource, per project, per P&L, whatever it is, if you don't have accountability for each of the roles that are assigned to your project. I think successful change is less about technology and more about the people responsible for the change. So invest in change early and often. Next question I have here is, what will happen to the role of a BA with the advent of AI and its increasing presence in day-to-day life? Oh my gosh, that's a topical one. Okay, so, excuse me. I think, well, I'm fairly sure AI will change the BA role, but I'm also fairly sure it's not going to replace it. And I think that's because AI can automate analysis, but context and empathy are human strengths. BAs will shift towards strategic thinking, interpreting AI insights, and defining prompts, and creating and curating how that AI is going to deliver the best result for the user and for the customer, and being able to align those insights with business goals. And I think we can expect more focus on data literacy and process optimization. And really, the BA role is going to involve less documentation, more decision-making, and value creation. That's where I think it's going to go. But I think we're okay for now. We want to get ready. Next up, what was your first BA role? It's a good question. My first BA role was with an Irish semi-state organization, an energy company. I worked in energy for a number of years before I moved into professional services. And with that role, the first BA role, it leaned more towards data and research than traditional IT BA work. And it gave me a strong analytical foundation, problem solving, critical thinking, and to hone that attention to detail. And I was the beneficiary of being hands-on with the product, and the product being Dynamics 365 and the Microsoft suite. That was invaluable, and that helped me land the role with the Microsoft partner later on. I don't think it was as much my BA skills, it was my product skills. And we're seeing that more and more throughout the industry, being able to lean on a product and be able to shape the customer's experience using your product knowledge. But I think every role builds your toolkit. And even if it doesn't look like the perfect job at first, it's all building to your tool set that you can pick up with that BA role. I think that's it. That's the final one. So thanks so much for joining today. And if you found this useful, check out thebaproject.ie or subscribe to the BA Project across social media. Of course, feel free to check out our blog, our podcast, connect with me here on LinkedIn, and follow the page on LinkedIn too. I love hearing your thoughts, your questions. Appreciate it. Thank you. Until next time, thanks for watching.